Hello again, everyone. Magic number down to 7 after the St. Louis lost to Los Angeles Friday night. Reds trying to shave off another game down in South Beach, but the conventional way to do that is to score more runs than the other team. The Marlins intent on spoiling that. They put up a 3 spot on the board in the first. Giancarlo Stanton with a 2-run triple. Not a strong night for Johnny Cueto on the bump. He went just 4 1/3, allowing all 6 runs. The Fish totaled on 9 hits. If the Reds hope to move their magic number closer to 0, they'll need some help from the Dodgers again against the Cardinals. A 6-4 loss keeps them stalled tonight. And after falling behind 2-0 in their best-of-5 series with Southern Illinois, the Florence Freedom held on tonight to take Game 3 and force a Game 4 in their Frontier League Championship game series. That game will be played later tonight. And now to football. The Bearcats dismantled the Panthers in their season opener, but their follow-up opponent didn't pose much of a threat either. The Hornets of Delaware State visiting Nippert. This one a lot closer, though, than it appeared it would be on paper in the early going. First quarter, Jamel Poteet from 1 yard out takes the handoff and punches it in. Bearcats on the board first. Munchie Legault, that's French for let's go, finds Anthony McClung. McClung with the fancy footwork dances his way through the defense and scores 13-0 UC. Legault again, this time to Damon Julian, who refuses to go down. It was 20-0 at halftime, and the Hornets showed some heart not getting blown out. The Bearcats win 23-7. Up 71 in Columbus, the West Coast paid a visit. Golden Bears and Buckeyes locked up at 28 in the fourth, but memo to Cal, you cannot leave a man wide open. Devin Smith gets under the underthrown ball from Braxton Miller and waltzes into the end zone to give the Buckeyes the lead. A lead they would preserve when Zach Maynard overthrew his man into the arms of Christian Bryant. Ohio State hangs on to improve to 3-0, 35-28 over Cal. Miami playing on the Smurf turf today, visiting Boise State, and it was the Broncos who would strike first in this one. Joe Southwick finds DJ Harper over the middle for the score. The 2-point conversion made it 8-0 Boise. But with a little trickeration, the Redhawks respond. That's the running back, Don Treadwell's kid. Spencer makes it 9-8. It was the only lead the Redhawks would have. Southwick threw for 304 yards and 2 touchdowns as the Broncos win their home opener going away 39-12. The 19th-ranked Louisville Cardinals hosted the Tar Heels in Louisville, and it looked like it was going to be a laugher. 36-7 Louisville at halftime, but the Cards took their foot off the gas and let North Carolina right back in it. Down 5 with 1:45 left, 4th and goal, and the pass is incomplete. Take another look. Let this be a reminder, kids. You got to play all 4 quarters. Louisville hangs on to win barely, 39-34. And from a scare in Louisville to a thriller in Lexington, this is overtime between the Wildcats and Hilltoppers. UK with first possession, and from 12 yards out, Jonathan George dives past the pylon to give Kentucky the lead. Western Kentucky would have to respond to survive. From 3 yards out, they do just that. Antonio Andrews punches it in. We're headed for a second overtime. Or are we? The Hilltoppers going for the 2-point conversion and the win, and you can't draw them up much better than this. Somewhere in Anchorage, Alaska, Jake Rild is a 4-year-old on Christmas morning as Western Kentucky pulls off the upset 32-31. Back to counting down the minutes until Midnight Madness, Wildcats fans. Division 3 now. Home opener for Thomas More Saints hosting Westminster, who gave the Saints all they can handle. This is Dak Britt doing his best Braxton Miller impression. Who needs to throw when you've got wheels like this kid? 7-0 Titans. 13-3 Titans, which doesn't sit well with Adam Rauch. He's going to find daylight on the sidelines, makes the house call. It was a back-and-forth affair with 18 seconds left, though. Thomas More scored to finish the comeback 27-23. Over to the west side, the Pit, Elder hosting Lakewood St. Ed's, and the Fighting Dennis Jansons looked overmatched in this one. It was all St. Ed's who got up 21-0. Here Ryan Fallon hooks up with Anthony Young on a 65-yard bomb for the score, 42-28 your final. A much better contest our Philip Lee found was over at Simon Kenton, where the Pioneers were trying to push their record to 5-0 against Newcath. Newcath wanting no part of that, though. Dylan Haynes from 2 yards out cuts the Simon Kenton lead to just 1, but the Pioneers love to air it out, and that's just what they did to make sure they kept their perfect record. A 5-0 start it is for the Pioneers as they win 28-20, and it was ugly. There's no denying that. But the good thing for the Bengals is after Monday night's dismantling against the Ravens, it was only week 1. And while many people like to hit the panic button after a long offseason and a slow start, if Cincinnati can get back to the basics in today's home opener and limit their mistakes on defense, they'll be just fine against the Browns. Of course, they can't take anything for granted against Cleveland. They're still a familiar division foe, and despite rookie quarterback Brandon Weeden having one of the worst debuts in NFL history, well, as they say, any given Sunday.
In these games, usually you know each other really well, and there's not really going to be any surprises. It's going to be an attitude game, a physical game, and it's going to be an execution game, and no different than last week. So, the things we need to learn, we'll learn, and we'll go forward, and it's going to take effort and attitude and execution this week again.
That's it for sports. We're back with more right after this.